Hi everyone, Maria is with you again. Hope you are feeling fine, you are healthy mentally and physically. Today I would like to discuss something very important because there's so much pain, so much injustice, loss, and grief around. Um, all this leads to people uh, getting angry. And anger, today is the topic, is actually my favorite emotion. And I'll explain to you later in the end of the video why it is. It's not because I get angry very often, but I think it's very useful uh, to process your anger, and I'll talk about it later in this video. But before I start, I can say that anger is, of course, a natural and normal emotion. However, if you often get irritated very fast, and this leads to some uncontrolled anger, frequent bursts of anger, some like the possibility of you injuring someone or physically harm or damage things, it's best you ask for help, because I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help if this state of anger keeps you away from achieving what you want in life and having great relationships with people. So so if you experience that, you need to be careful and take care of your own health and the health of other people. So as I said, the causes of anger, they actually various. They vary from disappointment to helplessness, despair, loss, and grief. Actually, anger is kind of a mixture of emotions. It's like layers of emotions, and in every case, with different people in different situation, it's a different combination of emotions. In fact, so there is a difference between, of course, getting a road rage, right, and losing the person who you loved. There's a difference. People get angry in both cases, but you know that the intensity is different, right? And it's very natural to feel anger. Like, remember, you can probably remember when you were a child. I think children often get angry if they don't get what they want, like a toy or the food they want. Like, imagine you don't get ice cream, your mom gives you broccoli instead of ice cream. I would get angry too, actually. um, so a child gets angry because they're disappointed. They are helpless because it's only their parent who can give them ice cream, right? And also they feel loss of something. They kind of, they already had it in their mind, but now they will not have it anymore, right? And then this anger transforms into sadness, which naturally happens in adults too, right? People don't like talking about anger, and that's understandable, because first of all, when you get angry, you usually don't say the things that you would say when you are not angry, and you would usually do things that you would never do when you are not angry. And then then later, you can regret it. You feel guilt and shame for your behavior, right? And on the other hand, people who are around you, first of all, they're probably scared of you being angry, especially if you are a huge muscular guy, because you never know, right? And also, if this burst of anger happens in a public place, uh, people are kind of, ashamed. They're just, no, it's not my child, not my child on the floor crying. No, it's like, I'm not with him, right? So why does it happen? Why? That's a good question. Actually, there is a misconception about emotions, like any kind of emotions, negative, positive, that people think that emotions are only in your head. So it means emotions are thoughts, and if they're only thoughts, well, they can just get rid of them easily, right? You can just forget about them, just do something. Yeah, they're in your head. It's only in your head, right? However, as I said, it's a misconception, because emotions, they're not only in your head, they're also in your brain. And as you probably know, whatever happens in the brain, it affects the whole body, right? And also thoughts, emotions, and actions, behavior, they're interrelated. So actually, anger is experienced in our minds and our bodies. There's a whole physiology behind that. It's a complex series of physiological events. I'm not an expert in physiology, but you can Google it if you don't believe me, and I'm going to give you a few examples how emotions affect the whole body. Okay, so it all starts with amygdala. It's this area in our body that is responsible for identifying threats of different kinds, right? Threats to our well-being. And amygdala is very efficient. It acts very fast. It is much faster than the cortex. The cortex is the area of the brain responsible for rational thought and judgment. And since amygdala acts faster than the cortex, that's why when we are angry, we first act, then we think. Sometimes we think much later than we act, right? So that's why we say things and we do things that people don't expect us to do, normally. It's like not us, it's someone else, So what also is happening is there's this burst of energy caused by catecholamines. Blah, 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 I can't pronounce them, but they are neurotransmitters. Yeah, so our brain sends the whole body the message to be ready, to send all this energy, which causes the desire to take immediate protective action, because our amygdala sees something as a threat, and this burst of energy, you are ready to fight, you're ready for physical action, your face is red. Your face is red, your heartbeat increases, you breathe faster, right? So you are ready to fight. And you're also very focused. You see this target, the cause of your anger, and you see nothing around it, So, like a bull who sees something that irritates it. Nom 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 nom. Yeah. So because our brain and actually the whole body is affected by adrenaline, it's very hard to relax in this state. It's very hard to cool down. So if you just tell someone, oh, you just cool down, it will not work, because why am I saying all these things is it's not only in your head, right? it's in the whole body. The whole body is involved in this process. Right. But of course, you can control it. There are some relaxation techniques, and they reduce the activity of amygdala. So, it kind of cools down over there, and it doesn't see something as a threat anymore. There are also cognitive control techniques that kind of override your emotions, and you just use your judgment. You need to practice that, especially if you get angry very often and very fast. Or you know that you are getting into some situation that usually triggers you. Yeah, there is some person who irritates you. Like, you just want, you can't control yourself. So you need to kind of be ready for that, right? You know that, okay, I'm going to that meeting and I know I'll get pissed. I know. Or I know I'm driving the car and I'm ready. I'm ready for the road rage. So you can just practice these cognitive control techniques and relaxation techniques. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about it for a long time because it's going to take an hour. But the most important thing is why anger is my favorite emotion. Well, it's not because I usually get angry very fast. No. It just, anger is useful, and actually much more useful than other emotions, in fact, because anger is a very intense emotion, and it clearly shows that something needs to be changed. Something in your life does not go the way you want. Yeah. Even if it's subconsciously, you don't want it subconsciously. Yeah. You kind of think, no, I mean, why is this person irritating me? I don't understand. But he just pisses me off. I don't know why. Subconsciously, you know that something is wrong. Something's going on there, right? So since anger involves this burst of energy, like this power, this can be used as fuel to to make you kind of get out of this, to spit you out of this reality that you don't accept. Okay, to energy can give you anger can give you energy to make this change. All right, you just need to know what exactly what exactly is the cause of your anger. Yeah, because sometimes we don't realize it, and sometimes we suppress it because we are taught this way since we were kids. And another thing is that some people don't know. Like, first of all, maybe you're not ready for a change. Yeah, it can happen that you are not ready for a change. You feel that something should be changed, but you're not ready. For example, like your job is toxic, or your working environment is toxic, but you're not ready to change your job for different reasons. There can be various reasons, right? Or you probably don't know how to do that. It's also possible. There are things that we cannot change directly or immediately. Like, there's so much injustice around. Yeah. So every time I see, like I read some news about, for example, animal cruelty, I just, that's a trigger for me. But I cannot do something, right, immediately. Right? So sometimes you're not ready for a change, sometimes you don't know how. Okay? And actually, if you don't do anything to change the situation, There are also two ways. There are two ways people deal with this. People either put up with it or accept it. And there is a difference. There is a difference between putting up with the situation and being passive and suppressing your feeling, and being patient and accepting the situation. Of course, to accept the situation, you need to process it. Yeah, you need to know why it's happening to you. You need to know what is the core reason for the core cause of your anger. Okay, and then think if you can change it or not, if you know how to change it, and if you cannot change it, then probably it's better at the moment to accept it and release your anger instead of suppressing it. It's like it's like hiding a volcano inside you, right? If you just ignore a volcano and it's like bubbling inside you, and you occasionally spit some lava on people around you and burn stuff to ashes, that's suppressing. That's suppressing your anger and ignoring it, and you never know when it's going to erupt, right? So anger needs to be worked with, needs to be processed. And instead of self-pitying, instead of it's another thing. Another thing is like savoring your anger, savoring all this negativity and self-pitying and needing some pity. Yeah, actually needing some pity. It's also a non-productive way of dealing with anger. All this can lead to psychosomatic diseases. If you don't know what it is, please Google it. And it's a serious thing, actually. Okay? So what I wanted to say is, so provided you process your anger, you work with it, it can be awakening. It can give you the meaning. It can give the meaning to your life. But if you ignore it, if you suppress it, if you just put up with the situation, but inside you there is this negativity bubbling, yeah, ready to erupt, well, it can be destructive. It can be destructive for you and for the people around you. Well, that's all for today. Wishing you a great day, wishing you health, mental and physical. And that's it. That's all for today. Bye.